Alright guys, Polyop 2 test, Wednesday. So just to review, this first part asks us to find the product for each of the following. We're dealing with binomials, so we know we're going to have to use the box. Now, if you like FOIL better, you can use FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. I prefer the box, so that's what I'm going to do. We've got 2x minus 3y and 4x plus 6y. Okay, we multiply for each box. 4x times 2x, 4 times 2 is 8. X and x gives us x squared. 4 times a negative 3 is negative 12, and we've got an x and a y. 6 times 2 is positive 12. We've got an x and a y. 6 times negative 3 is a negative 18, and it would give me y squared. You add the diagonals, guys. See the little plus sign? It tells you exactly what to do. So the first term we have is 8x squared. A negative 12 and a positive 12 are going to cancel out. So we have negative 18y squared. And that would be your answer. Okay, on B, you see the squared, which simply tells us it's 2x minus 1, and we have another one, 2x minus 1. Or you can think of it as your box is a square, meaning both sides are the same. 2x minus 1 here, 2x minus 1 here. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times a negative 1 is negative 2x. 2x times a negative 1 is a negative 2x. Negative 1 times a negative 1 is a positive 1. Again, you're going to add the diagonal, combine your like terms. So we've got that 4x squared. A negative 2x plus a negative 2x gives me a negative 4x. And then you've got that positive 1. I know a lot of you struggle with adding negatives together. You've got 2 bad guys, another 2 bad guys. They're going to team up. So now you have 4 bad guys. Check with your calculator, guys. If you wanted to check, this would go in y1, the original problem. Your answer goes in y2, and your tables should match. All right, number 2, find the GCF of each expression. Notice, it doesn't tell us to factor it out. It just wants us to find it. So you can do this on your calculator if you go math right 9 to figure out for the coefficients. You type in one of your numbers, you put the comma, and then you put the other number. So for here, 3 and 15. If you don't know what you can factor out, what can I divide both of those numbers by? And it's a 3. And then you look for the lowest exponent. So what's the lowest x exponent that you see there? Here's a 5, here's a 3. So 3 is smaller. Then with the y, here's a 7, here's a 1. So the smallest is a 1. Okay, so looking at that second one, your coefficients, this is just a 1, so you can't factor anything out of a 1 and a 2. So we just have to look at this part, the lowest exponents. So the smallest x exponent is a 3. Now y's, there's a y8 here, but there's no y's over here, so we can't take any out. Z's, there's 4 z's here, but there's no z's over here, so you can't take any out. So x cubed is the greatest common factor. Okay, this one actually tells us to factor it out. Guys, another word for factoring is dividing. Okay, so this tells you you're going to have to do that dividing part, not just find the GCF. So if we look at 10, 28, and 6, the GCF is a 2. And if you notice, this is a b cubed, a b squared, and a b. They all have a b. We look for that lowest exponent still. So since we're factoring out, we have to divide everything by what we find our GCF to be. So divide everything by 2b. 10 divided by 2 is 5. When you divide, you subtract the exponent, so this will be b squared. Plus 28 divided by 2 is 14. You subtract the exponent, so 2 minus 1 is 1. Minus 6 divided by 2 is 3. and the b's would cancel out. So that's your final answer. Number 4, the dimensions of Jimmy's square garden are f by f. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm a picture visual person. So here's my square, and it's f by f. Okay, Jimmy decided to extend each side of his garden by 4 feet. Extend means make it larger. Okay, it's like adding that amount to each side, or more, or any of those other similar words. Okay, there's nothing about multiplying here. So what he's doing is he's adding 4 to each side. So this side and this side, we're both adding 4. There's your new box. Find the area and perimeter of his new garden. So let's do perimeter first. Perimeter is pretty simple. All we do is add the sides. We know this is f plus 4, so that means this is f plus 4. This is f plus 4, so this is also f plus 4. So to add, we look for our like terms, so f, 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 and f, so there's 4 f's, plus, there's a 4, 4, 4, and 4, so 16. For area, you're having to multiply. We're taking f plus 4 times f plus 4. To multiply binomials, you have to use the box. F times f is f squared. F times 4 is 4f. F times 4 is 4f. 4 times 4 is 16. Add those middle terms. So we have an f squared, we have 8 f's, and we have 16. And that's your final answer. So make sure you're paying attention if we're finding area or perimeter in each problem. It's not going to be together on your test. Okay, number 5. Factor each of the following expressions. Guys, this is the opposite of finding the area. This is where they're giving us the inside of the box. And we have to find the outside. Gosh darn peanut butter. These are the steps anytime we're looking for factoring. Okay? First step is look for a GCF. Is there anything I can take out of all 3 of these terms? No, there's not. Then we see if it's a dots. Well, there's more than 2 terms, so we know it's not a dots. Is it a perfect square trinomial? 21 is not a perfect square. You could check it by doing square root of 21 on your calculator, and it's not a whole number. So our final step is we're going to do the box. So we slide factors of 21, 1 and 21, 3 and 7. Perfect. Wait, but we want negative numbers. Well, negative 1 and negative 21 are also factors. So are negative 3 and negative 7. Remember, if you wanted to put this in your calculator, you do 21 divided by x. So these two combined would give me the negative 10. So they go in my diagonal, negative 3x, negative 7x. The first term is x squared. The last term is 21. All right, these 2 terms both have an x in it. These 2 terms both have an x. All right, for both of these, I can take out a negative 7. Or look at this. This is x, so I've got the x. What's missing? The negative 7. Here, to get a 21 from a negative 7, it needs to be a negative 3. Or look at this. X and negative 3 would give me that negative 3x. So your factors are going to be x minus 7 and x minus 3. All right, so for part B, let's follow our steps again. GCF. Is there something I can take out of a 9 and a 49? No, there's not. Dots. Is this a difference, means subtraction, of 2, there's 2 terms, squares? Is 9 a perfect square? You can check it in your calculator. It is. Is 49 a perfect square? Yes, it is. So we take the square root of each term, and they're going to have different symbols. Guys, difference of 2 squares tells you different symbols. So square root of 9w squared is 3w. Square root of 49 is 7. That is your final answer. Okay, so let's look at C. Follow our same steps. GCF, is there something I can take out of all of those terms? I can take an 8 out of these two, but not out of that last term. So no, there's not. Is it a dots? Well, there's more than 2 terms, so it's not a dots. Is it a perfect square trinomial? Is this a perfect square? It is. 4 times 4, okay. Is this a perfect square? It is. And is this addition? Yes, this is a perfect square trinomial. Hey, maybe you didn't recognize that. You could still go forward and do the box. The box will work for every single one. You just don't get to use your shortcuts. So I'll go ahead and use the box just for the practice of it. 16 times 1 is 16. Factors of 16. 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. But again, I need negative numbers. So I could also do negative 1, negative 16, negative 2, negative 8, negative 4, and negative 4. So these two together would give me my negative 8. So if I'm doing my box, in my diagonal, I've got negative 4x, negative 4x. My first term is 16x squared. My last term is 1. Okay, these two terms both have a 4x. These two terms, we're just going to take out a negative 1 because it leads with a negative. These two terms, it's a 4x. Here, all that's missing is the negative 1 because it leads with a negative. So our factors are 4x minus 1 and 4x minus 1. Okay, let's say we did realize that it's the PST, because I did. Your steps are square root, just like the dots. But here, the square root of this is 4x. They are both going to be minus because of that. And the square root of 1 is 1, and it's squared. So either answer is correct, because is this the same thing as this? Yeah, it is. Both of those mean the same thing. All right, last one, D. Is there a GCF? Is there something I can take out of all of those? No. Is it a dots? No, there's more than 2 terms. Is it a perfect square? 4 is. Is 3? No, it's not. So we have to do the box. We're going to slide to get negative 12. Drop our factors. So negative 1, 12, or 1, negative 12, 2, negative 6, negative 2, positive 6, 3, negative 4, or negative 3, positive 4. Now, everybody should have corrected this on your paper, and this should have become a 1. You can't do it with a 9, change it to a 1. Okay, so we look at our factors and see which one combined to give us a positive 1. Because it's positive, the larger number needs to be positive. So that automatically eliminates this, and this, and this. Here, 4 minus 3 gives me 1. So I draw my box. We've got negative 3x and 4x. It doesn't matter which one goes in which corner, as long as you put them in the diagonal. The first term is 4x squared. Last term is a negative 3y squared. Hey, this shouldn't have just been an x, because what's my middle term here? Y, xy. All right, now let's look for my GCFs. Both of those terms. Can't take anything out of 4 and negative 3, but they do both have an x. Here, can't take anything 4 and negative 3, but they do both have a y. Here, they both have a 4 and an x. Here, they both have a negative 3 and a y. So my factors are x plus y and 4x minus 3y. Look at that. Identify each of the following as difference of two squares or perfect square trinomials. Okay, look at this. There are two terms. You automatically know it's not a perfect square trinomial. Is this a square and is this a square? Yes. Is that a subtraction sign? Yes. So it's dots. Here. Again, there's three terms, so it's obviously not a dots. Is this a square? Yes. Is this a square? Yes. Is this addition? Yes. It is a perfect square trinomial. Now, you can also tell from the factors. Now, if you forget how to tell from the factors, FOIL it out. Use the box, multiply it, see what it gives you. Because we could tell here whether it was a dots or a PST. Guys, dots, difference. The signs have to be different. Are the signs different? Yes. This is your dots. Here, this is squared. This would make a perfect square if I was to look at it. This is your perfect square trinomial. All right, part 7. Divide each of the following to find the simplest form. Okay, divide means factor. They are the same word. I don't know why I got an accent. Just ignore that. Okay, so what can I factor out of each of these? Now remember, we got our steps for factoring. Gosh darn peanut butter. GCF. Is there a GCF for this top part? There is. I can factor out a 4. If I factor out a 4, factor means divide, so I'm dividing both parts by 4. This gives me 3x plus 2. On the bottom, we've got 3x plus 2. Ding, ding, ding. Is there something I can cross out? I can cross out this with this. So all that's left is 4. Fantastic. Let's look at B. Using our gosh darn peanut butter. Is there a GCF? No. Is this a dots? It's two terms. Square and square. And it's subtraction. It is a dots. So we know they're going to have different signs. One's plus, one's minus. Square root, square root. So x and x, square root of 4 is 2 and 2. Now let's do the bottom. GCF? Nope. Dots? There's 3 terms. No. Perfect square trinomial. That's a square. That's a square. Is that addition? Ding, ding, ding. So here it's going to be the same. So we've got x. They're both going to be addition. And it's 2. Both of them are x plus 2. Now, maybe I didn't recognize my PST. You could always use the box and get the same answer. Okay, so now that I've got it completely factored, this cancels out with this. Do these two cancel out? No, they're not the same factor. So your final answer is x minus 2 over x plus 2. You cannot simplify it any more than that. C. Divide 12x squared minus 21x minus 6 by x minus 2. Okay, what's divide another word for? Factor. Good, I didn't have an accent that time. I did sing it, but that's okay. So we're going to follow our steps for factoring. Gosh darn peanut butter. Is there a GCF? Yes, I can take out a 3 out of all those terms. So this would be 4x squared minus 7x minus 2. Is it a dots? That's 3 terms. No. Is it a perfect square? That's a perfect square. 2 is not a perfect square, so no. So I'm going to do the box. So we slide. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Drop our factors. negative 1 and 8, or it could be 1, negative 8, 2, negative 4, or negative 2, positive 4. And we are looking to get a negative 7, so the negatives have to win. And which one wins by 7? These two. So I'm going to do my box. I really wish I had more work to do this. So we've got 1x, negative 8x. The first term is a 4x squared. Last term is a negative 2. Both of these, I can take a 4 and an x. Both of these, they just have an x. Both of these, I can take a negative 2. Both of these, I can take a 1. So on the top, I have, write it down here, we've got that 3 on the outside, and we factored this to 4x plus 1 and x minus 2. On the bottom, we have x minus 2. This cancels out with this. So our final answer is 3 parentheses 4x plus 1. It's just way down here. Okay, these are review questions, guys. Starting here, this is EOC review. If you haven't noticed, we've started doing that on the test to help spiral back in so you're ready for your EOC in May. Okay, so zeros. Remember, math rocks. Roots, zeros, x-intercepts, solutions. So zeros mean x-intercepts. Here it is and here it is. One is at 3. One is at negative 2.5. Fantastic. Here, find out where f of x, hey look, that's the f of x column, is equal to 5. That's right here and right here. That's not hard, is it? You can do that. What is the solution to the system in the table to the right? Okay, do y'all remember systems? Think of solar system, digestive system. It's multiple things working together. So we've got the two equations working together. So 2 lines. Here's a line, here's a line. Do y'all remember where the solution is? It's that point of intersection. So the point that's the same. Looking at this table, what point is the same? The point, the x value of the point is 0. The y value of the point is negative 3. I know it was kind of weird for me to verbalize the x value is 0 and the y value is negative 3, but I just don't want you to write negative 3 as the solution. So physically ask yourself, what is the x value? X column, 0. What is the y value? Over here, y values, negative 3. 11. Write the inequality that represents all of the solutions to the inequality 6x minus 2y greater than or equal to 44 when y equals 5. Y equals 5? They just told me what y is. So let's get rid of that y. 6x minus 2. Instead of y, we have 5. Guys, just for showing this step on your test, you get a point. How easy was that? Do it. Okay? So we have 6x. This becomes minus 10, greater than or equal to 44. We follow our steps. Isolate. Other side. Add 10, add 10. Those cancel, so 6x greater than or equal to, this would be 54. And the final step is to divide. So divide both sides by 6. So x is greater than or equal to 9. Okay. Do I need to flip my inequality at all? No, we didn't divide by a negative. That is All you had to do. Substitute first. It makes your job a lot easier. Okay? So as soon as it tells you what a value is, plug it in. All right, good luck on your test tomorrow. Take your time. You do get 6 points for highlighting, so please make sure you use your stop, slow, go. Do I want to review that really fast? Normally you're supposed to do it before. Let me grab a green highlighter. It drives me nuts whenever y'all go back and do it. You could do it on any problem. Let's do it here, just because it's a word problem, so there's lots of words. It might be hard to break down. Okay, so stop. Get your pink highlighter. Let's stop. And we have to highlight all the important details. So the dimensions of Jimmy's square garden are f by f. If Jimmy decided to extend, he's making it bigger, each side by 4 feet, find the area and perimeter. Okay, guys, you highlighted. That is not the whole way you earn your points. You're not going to get your points if that's all you do. You have to dump. All sides the same. That's what a square is. F by F. Sides are F. Each side is F. Okay? Extend. So more, greater, plus 4 feet. So this is plus 4. Area is length times width. Perimeter is add the sides. Okay. Now you have to slow down and find the question. Find the area and perimeter of this new garden. Guys, actually new may have been an important piece too. New garden. We don't want the old one, we want the new one. Finally, green, you look for the difference in your answer choices. So this one didn't give me answer choices, but let's say it gave me A is 4F plus 16. B is 4F plus 4. C is F plus 4. And D is 16F plus 16. Okay, so I would look to see what's different. So between these two, wow, this marker's messed up. Thanks, guys. Okay, so between these two, the difference is just this 16 or 4. Okay? Between these two, the difference is the 4F or the F. Here, 16, or it could be 16. So you're looking to see how many F's there are, and then the total other number. That's what you're comparing. They've all got the plus, they've all got the F. Okay? So here, 1, 2, 3, 4 F's. So you should have eliminated C and D. Notice how I'm eliminating before I've circled my answer. And then we need to add up all the sides. Here they just have a 4, but we know, even just looking at these, that we have more than 4. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 4 is 12, plus 4 is 16. So the answer is A. And that's your answer. Alright guys, so utilize the stop, slow, go technique anytime you have a question on a problem. Before you start it, stop, slow, go. It'll help you break it down and kind of see what you're looking for. Good luck on this test, and see you tomorrow.